Welcome to the Midweek message. We're taking some lessons from Proverbs chapter 29, and I'm going to be reading from the New International Version of the Bible, and we're going to read verses 18 through 20. Proverbs chapter 29 and verse 18. Where there is no revelation, people cast off restraint, but blessed is the one who heeds wisdom's instruction. Servants cannot be corrected by mere words, though they understand, they will not respond. Do you see someone who speaks in haste? There is more hope for a fool than for them. Let's look at these verses one by one. They are verses 18 through 20 of Proverbs 29. Verse 18. Where there is no revelation, people cast off restraint, but blessed is the one who heeds wisdom's instruction. Where there's no revelation, people cast off restraint. If people do not know where the boundaries are, there will be no restraints to their behavior. The scripture tells us that at one time there was no king in Israel, but every person did what was right in their own eyes. People have to know what the limitations are for there to be some restraint on behaviors. And where there's no revelation, nothing's known, nothing is set out, nothing has been said, people will not know what the boundaries are. So where there's no revelation, people cast off restraint, but blessed is the one who heeds wisdom's instruction. If there are instructions, wise instructions, the person that abides by them will be blessed, will be happy, will be found in the right. Keep the rules. Now, I'm not saying by that sometimes the rules are not wrong. Sometimes they need to be changed, and that can be pointed out, and that can be addressed. But follow wisdom's instructions. Live a wise life. Know where the boundaries are. It's almost like the rules give meaning to the game. A football game would mean nothing if there were no boundaries. And so it is that life, if it is not lived a certain way, with a certain amount of restraint and understanding, will be invalidated. And verse 19, servants cannot be corrected by mere words, though they understand, they will not respond. Now, this verse seems to be saying that those that are under authority, servants in this case, we could apply it to kids out of school. We could apply it to you on your job, the principal that is. There has to be something besides the mere spoken instruction if people are to do what they're supposed to do. Use your job for example. Most jobs are going to have a code of conduct, certain things you're supposed to get done, and it's not just told to you by your boss or by one of your employers. It's not just written in the handbook. At some point, there's more than that. So if you are late so many times, you're going to be written up, and if you don't listen to that, you'll be fired. There's got to be something behind just the words. Because people may understand words and yet not obey the instructions. And of course, verse 18 was talking about instructions too. It's wise to heed wisdom's instruction. And verse 20. Do you see someone who speaks in haste? There is more hope for a fool than for them. Boy, that verse should sink down in all of our beings. Many, many times the scripture warns us against speaking hastily before we have adequate knowledge, or speaking haughtily, speaking in pride, or speaking too quickly before we know all the facts, or being too anxious to give our opinions. There's more hope for a fool than someone who speaks in haste. Jesus said, let your speech be yes, yes, and no, no, because whatever comes beyond that is sin. Jesus was saying, watch your speech. The more you talk, the more ready you are to give your opinion, the quicker you are with the tongue, the more likely you are to be wrong, to be found incorrect. And if a person speaks in haste, there's more hope for a fool than for them.